Yo, we're gonna be watching today that one mistake took down a 29 years old dark web drug lord. Alright, understood, got it. Let's get
On
into
October 1st, 2013, federal agents entered a public library in San Francisco. They arrested 29-year-old Ross Ulbricht. Ulbricht ran the largest, most sophisticated online market for illegal drugs in history.
Website name is Silk Road Anonymous Marketplace. 2013, huh? One hit of LSD. I don't know what is that for. Bitcoin. Is that Bitcoin symbol? This one. I think so. That's a Bitcoin symbol. Bitcoin or some other currency. Sorry if I don't know. And one pure MDMA 1.28. Okay, high quality cannabis. Okay, marijuana, and all these drugs as well. Okay, rankings. Illy, Rook. I have no idea what these are, man.
He named it Silk Road, a reference to the ancient trade routes that connected China to Europe, beginning in the 2nd century BC.
Yeah, I know about Silk Road.
Ulbricht hoped to create his own modern-day marketplace, except his would sell hardcore drugs and other illegal goods. Over the 2 years and 10 months that Silk Road operated, federal prosecutors say it processed nearly $214 million in sales using Bitcoin.
Yeah, okay, I was right. That was Bitcoin, alright? But damn, $213 million in sales, dude. Whoa, this guy is like second Pablo Escobar or whatever, man. Like he's up there, man.
The site operated on a hidden part of the internet called the dark web. Prosecutors say a journal the FBI found on Ulbricht's computer stated he wanted to create a website where people could buy anything anonymously with no trail whatsoever that could lead back to them.
Unfortunately for Ulbricht, he did leave a trail of digital breadcrumbs that ultimately took him down in his empire.
One mistake.
Ulbricht was born on March 17, 1984 in Austin,
Why do
Texas.
I care?
He was a Boy Scout, attaining the highest rank of Eagle Scout, just like his dad had done. He had a happy childhood, growing up an easygoing hipster but serious student who scored 1,460 on his SATs within the 96th percentile and got a full ride to the University of Texas at Austin, where he studied physics. He then won another full scholarship for a master's at Penn State in material science and engineering. It was at Penn that he evolved into a hardcore libertarian, a political philosophy that advocates individualism and minimal state involvement in people's lives. He was a fan and follower of libertarian economist Ludwig von Mises, who opposed government interference in the economy.
I know Ludwig, YouTuber, but I don't know this old guy. But yeah, I'm sure whatever he did, good too.
When then presidential candidate Mitt Romney asked, "What is America's greatest challenge?" Ulbricht responded like this on his YouTube channel.
But I think the most important thing is getting us.
Why I feel like I have seen this guy videos before. I'm sure on YouTube, but I have seen this guy on internet before.
Out of the United Nations.
Ulbricht wanted to create a world free from institutional or government control. That mindset led him to create Silk Road in January 2011. You couldn't type in a normal web address to get to Silk Road or use a normal web browser. You needed software called Tor that works as a web browser. Tor was developed by the US Navy as a way of communicating privately over the internet. It conceals the real IP address of computers on the network to hide the identity of the user, and it can't be traced by the government. Silk Road's address used a bunch of random numbers and letters that ended with .onion. Ulbricht made the site by teaching himself how to code. When he needed more help, he reached out on a Bitcoin community forum.
I mean, of course, the guy made a website. Also, like this kind of website, dark website, where he gonna sell stuff. I'm sure he's into coding, like a crazy coding guy. He know a lot about coding.
I'm looking for the best and brightest IT pro in the Bitcoin community to be the lead developer in a venture-backed Bitcoin startup company. Anyone interested was to contact him via his email, rossulbricht@gmail.com. Making his email public would later come back to haunt him. He also got coding help from a buddy of his from undergrad, Richard Bates. Ulbricht had no choice but to eventually tell his friend what he was up to. He also told his girlfriend, Julia V. One day, he showed her the psychedelic mushrooms he was growing and selling as a starter product on his new website. Silk Road would eventually be a marketplace for all kinds of drugs: weed, cocaine, LSD, ecstasy, heroin. This fit Ulbricht's
Bro, I
libertarian
don't even know
mindset.
half of them.
He believed that whatever someone decided to put in their body was their choice and no one else's, least
Really?
of all, the government's. Ulbricht also believed everyone had the right to self-defense when guns started appearing on Silk Road. However, he realized he didn't need the controversy and soon took weapons off the site.
Oh, okay.
After getting his business up and running, he turned his attention to attracting customers. He decided to write a post on a magic mushrooms forum called the Shroomery, pretending to be someone who happened to come across Silk Road. He used the username Altoid, posting, "I'm thinking of buying off it, but wanted to see if anyone here had heard of it and could recommend it." He included a link with instructions on how to access Silk Road.
Wait, what?
Had heard of it.
I came across a website called Silk Road. It's torn hidden service that claims to allow you to buy and sell anything online anonymously. I'm thinking of buying off it, but wanted to see if anyone's here heard of. Oh, so he's playing the on both sides, seller and the buyer. He's like acting like a customer here, but actually he knows what he's doing. He's the owner of the Silk Road, bro.
And could recommend it. He included a link with instructions on how to access Silk Road.
So what happens if you go to this website right now?
He did the same on a Bitcoin community forum about buying and selling heroin, describing Silk Road as an anonymous Amazon.com. It wasn't long before buyers showed up. To limit scams, there was a
Small plastic bag.
rating system for sellers similar to Amazon reviews. If a seller sold bad drugs and got a poor rating, it would hurt their sales. The drugs arrived by mail with fake return addresses. They'd be slipped inside CD and DVD cases.
Oh.
Some sellers got even more creative and put them in little ripples of cardboard. The packages had printed mailing labels rather than handwritten ones to look like they came from a legitimate business.
Right.
Ironically, that backfired. The printed labels actually attracted the suspicion of authorities. In the summer of 2011, Department of Homeland Security agent Jared Duryagian learned of a small, neat package with a printed address going through Chicago's O'Hare International Airport. It contained a single pink pill of ecstasy, which was also suspicious because usually they shipped in bulk. Soon,
Just single pill.
3 packages began arriving, then 50, then up to 1,000 a day.
Damn.
Many came from the Netherlands, which is a notorious source of drugs. Agent Duryagian visited an address where one of the packages was to be delivered, chatted with the roommate of the buyer, who said the drugs came from a site called Silk Road. Duryagian
Did they caught the buyer? Did they arrested the buyer or not?
had never heard of Silk Road before. He did some digging online and came across an article written by Gawker journalist Adrian Chen in June 2011. Chen wrote, "Making small talk with your pot dealer sucks. Buying cocaine can get you shot. What if you could buy and sell drugs online, like books or light bulbs?"
Damn, bro, but this is really creative though. Like, if you are back in 2013, and you really need a drug, of course you'll be like, yeah, hell yeah, bro. Just order, click, pay, boom, it's gonna ship that to your home. Don't need to go out, no need to be worried about police, anyone doing it outside as with a person or anything like that. Boom, that's really that's really good. If I'm not, I will never be, if on drugs. But if I was in 2013, bro, that'd be like best thing ever for dude, like for real.
Now you can. Welcome to Silk Road. The article attracted 3 million views
Whoa.
and put Silk Road on the map. Not only did Silk
So it
Road
was
soon attract the attention of
coming
thousands
up
of
and
drug
up.
dealers and buyers, but also politicians like Senator
Really?
Chuck Schumer, who called for the site to be shut down.
Whoa,
the U.S.
that's
government
not
was
good
concerned, but
for
not
the
only
website.
about drug sales. As Nick Bilton detailed in his book, American Kingpin, Homeland Security agent Duryagian feared that a terrorist organization could enter the country and then buy something from Silk Road to harm Americans. He convinced the
That's
U.S. Attorney's
true.
Office
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, bro, like that makes sense, man. Like anyone just buy guns from online out of nowhere and boom, do whatever they want,
in Chicago to take on the case. As Silk Road came into the spotlight, Ulbricht's college friend Richard, who helped him with programming, said he urged him to shut it down.
Okay.
Ulbricht and his girlfriend
Really?
Julia broke up soon after the launch of Silk Road.
Oh.
She said one of the reasons was because of the insane pressure she felt to keep his secret.
Oh.
Ulbricht lied to her and Richard, telling them he had sold the business to someone else
And he shut it
no
down.
longer had anything to do with it.
But on the
He moved
side,
to
he was
Australia
doing
for a
something.
while and lived with his sister in Sydney. Around this time, he was contacted through the site by a person going by the name Variety Jones. Variety Jones became his right-hand man and someone Ulbricht described as a real mentor.
Really?
Neither knew the other's true identity.
Okay.
Variety Jones pointed out the gaping holes in security on Silk Road. Ulbricht decided to encrypt all the files on his computer. This is the actual laptop he used to run Silk Road. He put in a kill switch that would automatically shut down his device by pressing a predetermined key in case authorities rushed in at the last minute.
Really?
He also prepared an escape plan if needed, including destroy.
What's the escape plan? Destroy laptop, hard drive, and hide, okay? Or dispose it, okay? Hide memory stick. Go to end of train. Go to end of train. Like actual train or something else end of train, okay? Find place to live on Craigslist for cash. Okay. Create new identity. Of course.
Destroy laptop, hard drive. Find a place to live on Craigslist for cash with a new identity. Variety Jones came up with Ulbricht's infamous pseudonym on Silk Road, Dread Pirate Roberts, a reference to the fearsome captains from the film The Princess Bride, who passed the name on to a chosen successor. In the same way, Ulbricht hoped to one day pass on the name Dread Pirate Roberts to someone who might succeed him.
But where was he getting all these drugs from? I'm sure he had to get from somewhere to ship to them. Where was he getting multiple types of drugs and guns and all that from? Like, did that not get any attention from police or anybody else?
Jones got him to see how big Silk Road could grow to be. Ulbricht wrote in a personal journal disclosed by prosecutors, Silk Road is going to become a phenomenon, and at least one person will tell me about it, unknowing that I was its creator. In 2 short years, Silk Road grew to more than 100,000 users, with sales of nearly 214 million, including 13.2 million in commissions for Silk Road, according to prosecutors. The feds were left scratching their heads as they still had no clue who was the mastermind behind Silk Road. Who was this Dread Pirate Roberts? Who was the captain of the ship? He became somewhat of a competition amongst the various government agencies to be the one to identify Dread Pirate Roberts.
They got
to
him
better
under the eye.
understand how Silk Road operated, Department of Homeland Security agent Duryegian posed as a buyer and made 52 undercover purchases. He also seized...
Usually that's how it goes down for real, like a undercover police officer or undercover cop, agent, anyone else, just go as a buyer and boom. That's how it usually goes down.
Thousands of packages, linked certain sales back to their source, and arrested several people. His biggest get came when he tracked down a Dread Pirate Roberts employee, a moderator on Silk Road's user forums, going by the name Cirrus. He forced her to hand over her account, and then he pretended to be her. Duryegian, posing as Cirrus, got assignments directly from Dread Pirate Roberts. He wasn't the only federal agent chatting with the Silk Road boss. DEA agent Carl Force was part of a task force in Baltimore that was also investigating. Force used the username Knob and posed as a drug dealer originally from the Dominican Republic who smuggled millions of dollars worth of cocaine and heroin into the US every year. He was on friendly terms with Dread Pirate Roberts, who had no idea he was speaking with a DEA agent, an agent who, in a twist in the tale, turned out to be corrupt. Force convinced Dread Pirate Roberts to pay him $50,000 in Bitcoin by claiming he had insider information from a government employee. When Force reported the conversation to the DEA, he claimed he never received any payment, when in fact, he funneled the Bitcoin into a personal account. And believe it or not, a second agent who worked on the same Baltimore task force was also stealing, Secret Service agent Sean Bridges. When Silk Road customer support rep Curtis Clark Green was arrested at his home with a kilo of coke, Bridges used Green's admin access to steal 20,000 Bitcoin from other user accounts. Dread Pirate Roberts thought Green to be responsible for the theft. He wanted to rough him up and got egged on by his mentor, Variety Jones. Dread Pirate Roberts knew Green's real identity because as a condition for being on Silk Road's payroll, staff had to hand over their government ID. Dread Pirate Roberts turned to Knob, aka DEA agent Carl Force, to beat up Green. Knob agreed. However, Dread Pirate Roberts then changed his mind and messaged, "Can you change the order to execute rather than torture?"
Damn.
Dread Pirate Roberts said he had, quote, never killed a man or had one killed before, but it is the right move in this case. He didn't want to risk Green giving up information to the authorities, as he knew he had been arrested when he searched him up online. Knob agreed to do the job for $80,000 in Bitcoin.
Damn.
Ulbricht later received photos of a dead Green, except he wasn't really dead. Agent Force staged Green's death, complete with photos of him on the floor, covered in Campbell's Chicken and Stars soup.
No
The Dread Pirate
way.
Roberts is said to have ordered hits on 5 others whom he felt threatened by. Silk Road had been prey for blackmailers and extortionists. However, there was no proof that anyone was ever killed. Ulbricht was never charged with murder for hire. The government agencies were still nowhere closer to figuring out who was Dread Pirate Roberts. The DEA enlisted the help of the FBI cybercrime team in New York, as it had more technological know-how, including experience with the dark web.
All right.
FBI agent Chris Tarbell knew that in order to catch Dread Pirate Roberts, they had to wait for them to make a mistake.
Right.
And according to the FBI, the Dread Pirate Roberts did finally slip up about a year after the agency started investigating. In May 2013, investigators noticed coding errors, vulnerabilities on the Silk Road website that leaked IP addresses.
Oh, no.
As a result, they discovered the Silk Road servers were housed in a data center in Iceland. By the
Dude,
way,
what?
Ulbricht's defense team doesn't buy this
How
explanation.
the hell they are getting all that stuff from Iceland, man? And getting shipped out all over the world.
They believe the NSA spied illegally and tipped off the FBI to the server's location. Agent Tarbell flew to Reykjavik, where Icelandic authorities gave him a drive with information from the servers. The FBI accessed a treasure trove of data. They could see the number of transactions processed, who logged in and out, and crucially, Tarbell and his team had identified that the master computer Silk Road servers talked to, the one Dread Pirate Roberts used to log into Silk Road, was named Frosty. And Dread Pirate Roberts was logging in with an encryption key that ended with Frosty@Frosty. They could also tell Dread Pirate Roberts recently used internet from a San Francisco cafe to log into a Silk Road server via a VPN. By the spring of 2012, Ulbricht had returned home from Australia and eventually moved to San Francisco to live with a childhood friend. So now, the FBI had the name of the computer and could focus their search on San Francisco. But still, no idea of Dread Pirate Roberts' real identity. That piece of the puzzle would be filled in by Gary Alford, who worked for the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service. As a tax investigator, he was assigned to follow the money, but instead discovered the identity of Dread Pirate Roberts. Alford figured that whoever started Silk Road would have had to drum up interest in it long before that Gawker article came out. So he decided to do Google searches for Silk Road prior to June 2011. That's when he stumbled on Ulbricht's online posts, where he pretended to be someone who happened to come across Silk Road. Alford noted the username for the posts, Altoid.
Yeah.
He also noticed another post where Altoid asked for IT help on the Bitcoin forum that also included his personal email, rossulbricht@gmail.com.
Oh, man. Yeah. He gave his email and yeah.
Someone with
He's
the
in the
username
eyes of them,
Altoid
man.
also posted on Stack Overflow with a question related to Tor. Soon after,
Another
that user
Altoid.
changed the alias from Altoid to Frosty.
Oh.
Alfred didn't know the significance of the name Frosty at the time, but what he did have was a real name to track down. He Googled Ross Ulbricht and came across the LinkedIn profile of a young man with rather cryptic life goals. Quote, "The most widespread and systemic use of force is amongst institutions and governments, so this is my current point of effort." Alfred asked himself, could Ross Ulbricht be the brains behind Silk
He's talking
Road?
about government
Then
going
came
against
another
government.
piece of the puzzle. In July 2013, U.S. Customs and Border Protection officers intercepted 9 fake IDs coming.
Damn, look how many fake IDs, dude. New York, Colorado, Alberta, UK, California, Texas, South Carolina, Australia. What's the left? That one? I have no idea. But damn. Almost same pictures in all of them. What's the name? William Lewis. William Lewis. What's the name? Scene, man. Date of birth they're not showing. Kenneth Marshall. Okay. He got a beard in Alberta. Whole beard, dude. Sheffer Benjamin John Sheffer Benjamin, I guess. Man, he have new names on each ID, dude.
Into the U.S. from Canada. Homeland Security agents decided had to catch Ulbricht while his
They wanted
laptop
to
was
catch
open
him in
and he was
4K.
logged in on Silk Road as Dread Pirate Roberts. An unlocked computer was also necessary so agents could access his files. This would be difficult to pull off. Authorities knew their best bet was to catch him off guard and arrest him in a public place.
Right.
Homeland
While he's
Security
doing
agent
it or
Jared
something.
Duryegian was still pretending to be Silk Road staff member Cirrus and continued to maintain contact with Dread Pirate Roberts. This communication was crucial to the plan they hatched. On October 1st, 2013, at 3:08 p.m. local time, Duryegian saw Dread Pirate Roberts log on. Ulbricht was sitting in the science fiction section of the San Francisco Public Library's Glen Park branch. Duryegian started up a conversation with Dread Pirate Roberts while posing as Cirrus.
Okay.
Hi, are you there? Hey, how are you doing? I'm okay. You? Good. Can you check out one of the flagged messages for me? The flagged messages were in the main administrative section that only Dread Pirate Roberts could access.
Oh.
Dread Pirate Roberts responded,
Sure.
Sure. Let me log in. Okay. You did Bitcoin exchange before you started working for me, right? Dread Pirate Roberts asked this for security reasons because only the real Cirrus would know the answer. Luckily for authorities, the real Cirrus had told them how to answer the security question. Agent Duryegian hoped he recalled correctly when he typed, yes, but just for a little bit. It was a nerve-wracking moment. Not any more than that? No. I stopped because of reporting requirements. Damn regulators, eh? Okay, which post? Duryegian knew Ulbricht was now looking at an admin screen. He gave the signal to the other agents positioned in the library to make a move. A commotion soon broke out near Ulbricht. A woman yelled, "F you," as the man next to her appeared like he was about to punch her. When Ulbricht turned around to see the fight, an agent swooped in and grabbed his open laptop. At that point, Ulbricht, quote, lunges towards the laptop, and another agent walks behind him, bear hugs him. Ulbricht was arrested and taken away.
Damn.
The man and woman who were arguing were in fact undercover agents who created a distraction.
Yeah, actors. Paid actors.
Ulbricht's family and friends were shocked. How could the kind, fun, loving man they knew be the same person who ran a global drug bazaar? They couldn't believe it. Ulbricht was indicted on 7 charges, including distributing narcotics by means of the internet and engaging in a continuing criminal enterprise. He pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Oh, whoa.
The trial began on January 13,
All of
2015, and lasted 3 weeks. Many of Ulbricht's supporters showed up, believing a guilty verdict would be a miscarriage of justice. Ulbricht's defense attorney argued he wasn't Dread Pirate Roberts, that he had given away the handle in Silk Road to someone else. But the jury didn't buy it. On February 5th, 2015, a federal jury found Ross Ulbricht guilty on all 7 counts.
Finally.
Before sentencing, Ulbricht wrote a letter to the judge, begging for a more lenient sentence. I've had my youth, and I know you must take away my middle years, but please leave me my old age. Please leave a small light at the end of the tunnel, an excuse to stay healthy, an excuse to dream of better days ahead, and a chance to redeem myself in the free world before I meet my maker.
Oh.
On May 29, 2015, U.S. District Judge Catherine B. Forrest delivered her sentence. You were the captain of the ship as the Dread Pirate Roberts, and you made your own laws, and you enforced those laws in the manner that you saw fit. So it wasn't a world without restriction. It wasn't a world of ultimate freedom. It was a world of laws that you created. They were your laws. It is fictional to think of Silk Road as some place of freedom. No drug dealer from the Bronx selling meth or heroin or crack has ever made these kinds of arguments to the court. It is a privileged argument. It is an argument from one of privilege. You are no better a person than any other drug dealer, and your education does not give you a special place of privilege in our criminal justice system. It makes it less explicable why you did what you did. There is no reason to make a choice between these 2 people that I see that are on display. The Ulbricht who is the leader of the criminal enterprise, and the Ulbricht who is known and loved. What is clear is that people are very, very complex, and you are one of them. They are made up of many different qualities and many characteristics, with no one quality defining them. And there is good in you, Mr. Ulbricht, I have no doubt, but there is also bad. And what you did in connection with Silk Road was terribly destructive to our social fabric. Mr. Ulbricht, it is my judgment, delivered here, now, on behalf of our country, that on counts 2 and 4, you were sentenced to a period of life imprisonment to run concurrently. On count 5, you are sentenced to 5 years imprisonment to run concurrently. On count 6, you are sentenced to 15 years imprisonment, also concurrent. And for money laundering in count 7, you are sentenced to 20 years, also concurrent. In the federal system, there is no parole, and you shall serve your life in prison.
This was far beyond what the prosecution had even asked for.
Ulbricht had hoped Silk Road would become such a success that he would be famous. According to a journal entry read by the prosecutor to the jury, Ulbricht wrote, "I imagine that someday I may have a story written about my life, and it would be good to have a detailed account of it. His dream came true, but perhaps not in the way he had imagined." The FBI later identified Ulbricht's mentor, Variety Jones, as Roger Thomas Clark, a Canadian arrested in Thailand in 2015. In 2020, Clark pled guilty in a Manhattan court to conspiring to distribute massive quantities of narcotics. As for the 2 corrupt officers investigating Silk Road, former DEA agent Carl Force was sentenced to 6.5 years in prison for extortion, money laundering, and obstruction of justice. Former Secret Service agent Sean Bridges was sentenced to nearly 6 years in prison on charges of money laundering and obstruction of justice. He was later sentenced to an additional 2 years for another theft of Bitcoin from the US government. Thanks for watching. For Newsthink, I'm Cindy Palm.
Thanks, Cindy Palm. Damn, this video was crazy, dude. Wow. Banger though, banger. It's good one, good, like a good story. Like I like how it went from this to this, like whole story, whole crazy whatever happened, dude. This guy, man, so he made a website, he hired people, and he made a mistake for the website, especially when he was asking people, hey guys, did you saw, oh I need that, I like this website, I have seen this website selling stuff, have you guys seen it, you know? So from there the police got him, FBI got in, all those people got in, some agents started acting like, you know, buyers. Some also did some money laundering, took some Bitcoin from the government. They also got sentenced to that to few years, you know, 6 and 8 years I think. And then the other one, he got like a life sentence, 15 years. Was it 15 years? Then 6 years or 5 years more. Like it was a lot of like he's not getting out. But I don't get why people came out to support him. Like, yeah, people as they saw in the videos, like people were outside of the court or whatever, they were supporting him, that why he's being guilty, why the court is charging him for what he did. But I like the lengthy answer from judge, when he asked the judge to reduce his sentence or give him easy sentence or make him or you know, leave him or take him out when he's elder, or you know, show some light at the end. But she was like, nope, you did what you did and you deserve what you did, you know. Do you deserve this sentence? You're not the first one who did this, so don't act like that. It's not like you are young or you have education, all that. Just because of that we're gonna, you know, leave you or give you less sentence. You are equal to others as well, you know. You are bad as others. So yeah, overall good one. Yeah, he deserved it. Yeah, overall very good video by Cindy Palm and News Think.